Hey folks, JD here, and today we are continuing our set of videos on the SJRC F11 Pro. If you haven't seen the other videos in this instalment and you want to catch up, you'll find all the links in the description. Okay, so what is today's video? Well, today's video is quite simply captioned, is it worth it? Now, that is quite a difficult question to answer because it's caveated all the way to the bank. And what I mean by that is it's not something very simple that I can answer. I can just say, you know what, yes it is, and that's the end of the video. Cheers folks, that's it. What we have to talk about, what people's expectations are of the quadcopter, what I found and what I think, and obviously then what you think watching this. Now, let's start off at the basics. The difference between this and the F11, the original standard model, is the camera. This is a 2K camera built into it. Marginally better video, I think, than the F11. The same batteries you can use, interchangeable, same quadcopter, same motors, everything else is the same apart from the module. Now, in saying that, what I've next got to say is, before you say, yeah, but JD, is it worth it? Well, what is it you're after? Are you after a quadcopter with a great camera? Are you after a quadcopter for videography, photography? Are you after a quadcopter just to fly it? Are you after a quadcopter that has got all singing, all dancing battery life? Are you after a quadcopter that has full feature set working? Right, let's start off with the camera side. As a camera bird, no, not at all. I personally think this will not cut it as a camera bird. The camera just isn't good enough. As a feature set quadcopter, I was very impressed with all the features that worked. Hand gestures, taking photos and video didn't work for me, but follow me did, waypoints did, auto takeoff, auto landing, return to home did, as well as active track and follow me worked. I was astounded to find that all that worked. Okay, gestures didn't, but honestly, that's not something I use. Follow me is not something I use. Waypoints is something I use just out of intrigue and just because I enjoy to see what else is out there and how a quadcopter flies in its own. I like the idea of autonomous or nearly autonomous flight. Now, if you then break it down to, are you after a quadcopter just as a basic flyer, like I do with a lot of my quads? All I do whenever I go out, whether it's on film or whether I go out personally just to fly for myself, I like a quadcopter that flies well. This quadcopter flies very, very well. Same as the SJRC F11, the predecessor to this. They both fly excellently. They're both the same quad, but apart from this has got an upgraded camera module. Now, what I think, if you were looking at just a basic flyer, that's something you can just move around, roll your pitch, you have no problem whatsoever with this particular quad. Now, what about a price perspective? Well, I have the 2 battery version of this, of the Pro, and that is going to come in at about £170 from what memory serves. Now, that's quite expensive. If you add the carry bag to that as well, it's going to reach, I think, up to about 190, and I'm taking that at the time of making this video, which is Friday last week in July 2019, and obviously if you add more accessories that price is going to increase. Also, at the time of making this video, there is a discount on the quadcopter on Banggood's website. Now, I think it's very important to know that if you are after a single quadcopter, just one quad with one battery, it's going to fetch you back about 130 for this particular model. That'll give you 20 to 25 minutes of flight from the battery, and that's confirmed. I've had 20 to 25 minutes of battery out of this and the F11, no problems at all. Honestly, if you were after a camera quad, I would look at no less than the Hubsan Zeno. Honestly, hand on my heart, I've flown that thing to death, and it is still surprising just how good that video is and how good that quadcopter is. Now, as another aside, sorry folks to just keep on bombarding you, but we've got to ask ourselves these questions. How does this fare just as a flying quadcopter with the occasional photos? Photos works quite well. There's no purplish or brown or blue hue like I had in the F11. This is actually quite clear. I still don't think it's there though. You can't really be using it as a stock photography quadcopter because the quality of the camera just is not good enough. You're not going to get the resolution. And the frames per second as well of video, if you're going down that lines, is a 23 to 24, not the 25 which was rated, and I put the video, a stock video taken on this SD card, and I whacked it through a video analyzer, and that's what it came back with. So those are my thoughts. I think as a standard flying bird, it's absolutely fantastic. I think as a camera bird, no problem. It's not going to cut the mustard. I think as a feature quad, yes, it's pretty much all there apart from gestures. So it all depends on what you're after. I think it's a phenomenal flying quad. I would highly recommend it if you're just after flight like me. I tell you what, hands down, 100%, this is the quad of 2019 for me. Absolutely. Same as the F11. I have no problem in recommending them. If you are after a camera quad, I say leave it well alone. Features, yes, but again, depends what you're after. If you're after it following a bike, I would say probably not. If you're walking, I would say I had no problem with the Pro in walking, as you saw in the flight video. All right, my friends. Well, as a sort of overall verdict on this, if I was to say anything else, I would say have a little look and see what else is around in the same price range. Yes, you've got the Beast. Yes, you've got a couple of MJX quadcopters, but personally, I don't think they fly as well as this guy. Alright, my friends, thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and ring that bell too. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.